Woo! Baby Friday in full effect. TGIT, it is Thursday. I see Jam 420 made it in. There's our friend Walking Dead. Slim Shady. Mermaid Halo. Mel, I see some of you don't have members badges. We got to do something about that. Maybe my husband will sneak in and give people some badges. I don't know. We'll see. Well, he didn't get paid till tomorrow. Hello, Suzanne. I missed you, girlfriend. Look at that. Angel P. Member for 27 months. Look at that. She said, love you and our community. Well, I love you too. I'm so glad everybody is here. And let me tell you what. Woo! Shit went down yesterday. It was heated in the courtroom. Hell, they had it on our local news. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, making me proud, Oklahoma. Making me proud, Joy Cowley. Whoa, making me proud a little bit. What you doing? You guys are making me blush. We got to play the music. We haven't even got a chance to say hello. You know the routine. Thank you so much. It is raining. I don't know about a little bit. She's a couple hours away from me, but we have big storms coming through northeast Oklahoma. Woo. It's going to be like 86 today. And then tomorrow is going to be 63. Little bit, being a fellow Okie, she knows what that means. Looks like we're going to have tornadoes tonight. Now, they're not calling for them, but I'm calling for them because I know what happens when it's that muggy and we have such a sudden change in temperature. But that's okay. I'll sleep right through it. Love you bunches too, Suzanne. You are awesome, awesome. Well, let's take a second before we get to the absolute insanity that happened yesterday. And no, I do not blame these families at all because this was such a senseless and unnecessary crime. Ridiculous. Selfishness. And it's actually not that uncommon. It really isn't. People do insane things when it comes to child custody. Love you too, Amy in Boston. Well, again, we're all friends here. I know we get a lot of heat on the streets, but that's okay. We can take it. What do they say? If you don't like the heat, get out of the kitchen. Well, this is our kitchen and we're here. Let's take a second and welcome your neighbor. Hello, hello, hello. Is anybody in here celebrating a birthday today? I don't always know. I'm not friends with everybody on Facebook. Anyone celebrating a birthday? I did speak to Stacy last night. Again, she saved her husband's life by getting him to the hospital so quickly. But he is doing better. He has to have that 4th stent put in. I think that's what they call it. And again, her quick thinking and not taking no for an answer because, well, we know how sometimes our husbands do. We're like, you got to get to the hospital. We got to get you to the doctor. No, I'll be okay. I'll rub some dirt on it. She got him right there. So I'm going to keep everybody updated on what's going on with Stacy on the members tab. And, God be with them. Hang on. Shep said, I am. My birthday is next month, but celebrating today. Shut up, Shep. We'll celebrate your birthday next month. Matter of fact, we're going to be celebrating birthdays tomorrow. We have a huge members live tomorrow, things that we can't discuss publicly. And so if you're not a member, please consider being one because our members lives are a hoot. All right, let's get to the comments from our last show about the misfits in the Panhandle. Stacy Etter said, this is all about control. This really reminds me of the Sugar Babe case. Yes. Not all of it, but the whole family being part in a matriarch thinking they deserve these babies. Listen, grandmas and grandpas are extremely important. They are. They're a big, 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 big part of the family. But they're not mama and they're not daddy. And when the courts are involved, you have to do what they say. You don't go and buy 5 stun guns, tasers, plan to throw an anvil through the windshield, break a hammer on someone's skull. It doesn't work that way. You have to go through the process, as painstaking as I'm sure it is. Shayla said, it blows my mind that Jillian had a pew-pew with her and it wasn't loaded and ready to be there if they needed it. You got to be ready to point and pull if things get unsafe. They wouldn't have gotten close enough to my car with a hammer. That is sure. They are psychotic. My husband calls them the devil's rejects. The interesting thing about the pew-pew is that they found the clip, but not the pew-pew. So someone took it from her. Little Bit said, Brooks, an anvil is no joke, for sure. Mr. Chin Chopper, what a name. I love some of y'all's YouTube names. Said, this God's misfit crap has nothing to do with this crime. Whatever their beliefs are is irrelevant to the case. She wanted sole custody of the children no matter what it costs. I agree wholeheartedly with this statement. You see, News Daddy and the crew over at News Nation, they love this anti-government movement. They're loving it. They're trying to make it sound like that's what it's about. This is about custody. It's like the Wagner family. It's like Bardstown. If you're familiar with the case of Michael Long, all of the crazy stories he made up and the things that he said were happening to his daughter, Sophie. Snow remembers. Susan remembers. People will go to some of the most extreme things over custody of children. Absolutely nuts. All right, let's get to it. And then I'm going to put the link up because I want to hear what you guys are all thinking about this. Here we go again. Affidavit, God's Misfits, custody issue, murder plot uncovered. Very interesting in how I missed it through my first read in the probable cause affidavit. They tried to kill Veronica back in February. Think about that. It's not like things just went awry on March 30th. They tried to kill her in February.
New information in the Panhandle tonight, less than 24 hours after OSBI recovered 2 bodies and arrested 4 people facing kidnapping, and other murder charges over the weekend.
This comes 2 weeks after Veronica Butler and Jillian Kelly disappeared. Fox 25's David Chazanoff has been reading through the court documents. David, what have you found out?
Court documents reveal the situation between Butler and one of the suspects has actually been escalating since February.
Since February. Mermaid said Brooks is always dropping breaking news. Quite the opposite. But since you said breaking news, I have to play the music. Thank you, Mermaid. Thank you for the reminder, Mermaid. Little bit, you're exactly right. This is a different level of evil. You're exactly right. Okay, one of the men that has been mentioned in the affidavit of probable cause, his name's Paul. Old Paul is missing. I don't believe it's foul play. Did he run off to Colorado? Did he run down to Amarillo? Or is he in witness protection? What do you all think? Because he knows a lot. Did he run off because he was afraid he was going to get arrested? I don't know. But he is gone. So either the government's hiding him or he's hiding himself. We're going to talk more about that later.
Documents reveal the situation between Butler and one of the suspects has actually been escalating since February. Court documents Fox 25 received Monday uncovered details about two missing Kansas women, Veronica Butler and Jillian Kelly. OSBI says this all started because of a lengthy custody battle between Butler and one of the suspects, Tiffany Adams, the children's grandmother. Records show the teenage daughter of Cora Twombly, one of the women arrested in the case, spoke with OSBI agents. According to the affidavit, she told agents there had been attempts to kill Butler near Hugoton, Kansas.
Man, this girl is a hero. She truly is. I mean, she spilled the beans, did she not? She told him everything she knew at 16 years old. On March 30th, when they got home, Cole and Cora, they wanted her to clean the vehicle. Like a normal person, she said, "What happened?" They said, "Well, things didn't go according to plan, but we'll never have to worry about that bitch Veronica ever again." Woo! If anyone needs witness protection, it is their daughter. I had a lot of shit handed to me during the trial and case of Gannon Stout. Totally different cases. Because when I spoke about the stepsister of Gannon's, Harley, I said, listen, there is a reason she got a proffer agreement. There is a reason she refused to speak to the police. Of course, a lot of know-it-alls came at me and said, well, you have to have a parent present. Not when the parent's a suspect. They bring in what's called a guardian ad litem. She refused. She wouldn't talk. Now we have this 16-year-old girl who, in my opinion, without proper protection is not safe. She's not safe there. She spilled all the beans. Only thing I can say for Cora and Cole is they instilled some values in her because she told the truth. She even said they tried to kill her last month. or in February. I forgot this is April.
But Butler wouldn't leave her house. The OSB affidavit, she told agents there had been attempts to kill Butler near Hugoton, Kansas, but Butler wouldn't leave her house. The OSBI says this story matched up with what Adams looked up on her phone beforehand: how to get someone out of a house. Cora told agents the original plan was to throw an anvil through Butler's windshield while driving to make it look like an accident, quote, because anvils regularly fall off of work vehicles. That attempt takes us to March 29th.
Last I checked, anvils are pretty doggone heavy. If they fall off of a truck, they're not going to fly through the windshield and just go through it. They're going to fall in the road. So their plan was to throw an anvil through the windshield to make it look like an accident. How's the anvil going to hit both of them in the head? That's one crazy anvil. Son of a bitch.
Regularly fall off of work vehicles. That attempt takes us to March 29th, which is when the teen says the Twombly's told her they wouldn't be home because they were going to be on a mission. Court documents say the pair told the teen later that things had not gone as planned, but that they would not have to worry about Butler again. Because on March 30th, Butler and Kelly traveled from Kansas to the Oklahoma Panhandle to pick up the kids. Kelly was supervising. The teen told agents that Cora and Cole admitted to blocking the road to stop Butler and Kelly and divert them to where Adams, Ted Colum, and another person were. Law enforcement found Butler and Kelly's car near the fort.
Okay. Remember, they bought 5 stun guns. There's 5 burner phones. I believe there was 5 tasers. Who's the 5th person? So Cora and Cole do some sort of white trash blocking of the highway to divert them to where Tiffany, Tad, and they say another man were waiting. Who is the other man in your opinion? Is it Paul? I don't know. You got 4 people and 5 stun guns. Who's the 5th one? I'm just going to assume it's the dude that we can't find right now. Not that I'm looking too hard for him. I don't hang out with those type of people.
Four Corners region. They describe seeing evidence of severe injury, which included blood on the road, Butler's glasses near a broken hammer, and a pistol magazine. According to the affidavit, agents found 2 of 3 prepaid burner phones Adams bought at a property below a dam near a pasture about 8.5 miles away from where Butler's car was found. Agents said they found a hole had been dug and filled back in and then covered with hay at that location. According to court documents, the teen told agents that the suspects, Cora, her husband Cole Twombly, Adams, and Colum, were all part of an anti-government religious group called God's Misfits.
Ringler Rickman, the father of the children, was in a rehab facility when Butler and Kelly disappeared. A custody hearing was originally scheduled for Wednesday of this week, and Butler's attorney tells OSBI that Butler was likely to receive unsupervised visitation. Authorities say Butler's...
See, that is the problem. They had a court hearing coming up. She was going through the motions, as I say. And she was about to get unsupervised visitation. Well, you know what that means. After that, she was going to wind up getting full custody of her children again. She was engaged to a guy named Tracy, I believe his name is. Don't quote me. I don't have it right in front of me. And that infuriated Tiffany. And let me tell you what, What a rough couple of years it's been for old Tiff. Okay, you see her in the top left-hand corner. Look at her. Hell, Candace Wells's ass would make a Sunday face for Tiffany. Look at her. This is Tiffany a year before. It's been rough. What the hell? Kat, she's headed out to Anvil's R Us to make inquiries. Thank you, Kat, and please report back to us, and thank you for the super sticker. My God, that is rough. We got our friend Kristen backstage. I want to see what she thinks about this case. Welcome, welcome, Kristen.
Hey, good morning, beautiful. How are you?
Woo! Just making it, girlfriend. Better than these people. I'm telling you, it's horrible. What do you think about this case? Do tell.
I definitely think it was a case of something happened in that house that we don't know what happened to those kids, for one. And for two, I definitely think it's a jealousy issue. I'm not sure what Veronica has to offer that to be jealous of, but there's some jealousy going on.
Jealousy, control. I've been doing a lot. I think I might even do, I hate to do case comparisons, but when I look at what happened in Pikeston and other cases, I see so many similarities.
Well, I mean, we have to remember criminals are criminals regardless. If you take Ted Bundy to trying to think Jeffrey Dahmer, they have almost the same kind of relevancy, even though they're their victims were men and women. You know what I mean? All criminals have the same mindset. As much as they would like to think that they're smarter than the next criminal, that's the point, is that you're not. So
well, that is for sure. Criminals always think they're smarter than the police, and like I said, these people, they stepped in it big time. Well,
I think they ambushed them. I'm gonna be honest. I think that these 4 individuals sat around, and if you don't have someone that's consciously a good person and saying, hey, I think that's wrong, I really don't think that's the right way to do it. You get 4 evil people together. You can't imagine what these people thought.
5, because there's one person.
5. I apologize.
5. And it was an ambush, according to the probable cause.
I believe it. I believe that Ted guy came out, took his shotgun, and just started aiming and didn't think twice about it. And, I'm 39 years old. And when I seen him, I really thought he was a 62-year-old man.
There's some rough looking critters. Hang on. We have Jammy Jam backstage, and I have not talked to her in a long time. Girlfriend, where you been, you old stranger?
Hey, I've been trying to stay away a little bit from everything because it gets to me sometimes.
I don't blame you.
You got to take a minute and get back to real life, huh? I don't know. It's crazy, but this case really intrigues me because I can't imagine. And I'm a grandmother who has custody of my grandchildren. I can't imagine taking one of their parents from them intentionally. Even no, they haven't always done the right thing. My grandson loves his daddy, and I could never imagine taking that from him. It's heartbreaking.
So glad that you brought that up. I was going back and forth a little bit this morning, and she's like, I haven't been around this week, been taking care of the grandkids and everything. I talked to Angel quite a bit about her grandkids and everything, Jules, and they're like, I couldn't imagine. I couldn't imagine doing what they do.
Even if I don't have the same kind of love for some of the parents of my grandchildren, I'm just saying, I would never harm them because I love my grandbaby beyond measure and would never want to bring that kind of pain into them. It would kill me to do that. There must have been so much hate in that woman's heart. There must have been beyond belief hate and bitterness.
Oh God, yes.
And I think this young lady, did anyone ever think maybe she moved around a lot? Maybe she was a little screwed up at times, but maybe she moved around a lot to get away from that woman.
Well,
Ooh.
didn't they
Maybe.
say that before? Didn't they say that there was issues? Doesn't Wrangler have a child with someone else? And they had said that the other mother of the children wanted to get away from her too. I thought I heard that through the grapevine. I heard this isn't the first case.
No, I never heard.
Listen,
I've only heard that he has 2 children. They're with Veronica, according to the court documents, because they don't mention any other children or another woman or anything. And everything went south in 2018. And I mean, it got to our state Supreme Court. Bayou Babe said he does have another child. Did not know that. Good to know. That's the reason I hang out with you guys. And I mean, it was such a bitter custody battle.
I think that there were stories made up. I mean, I don't know the whole thing, but I know the accusations to the mother's brother. And I just wonder if that gross granny made those things up in order to gain more leverage.
Now, I will
During,
say that the turkeys pecking at the kids is a founded allegation. Okay.
okay, it is okay. I didn't know. That's why I talked to you, girl.
I've been having to comb through all this stuff, and I'm just like, damn. The essay from her brother is not. The dog that bit the older child is confirmed, but all the abuse allegations against Wrangler are unsubstantiated. They are
So it's
unfounded.
kind of like a back and forth thing,
Yeah.
right? I mean,
And
at some point, but
I'm wondering if their house was disgusting.
to the old gross granny's house.
Because I mean, if you got chickens pecking your kids, and I'm not from.
Oh no. I'm talking about Veronica's great grandmother that was watching the kids, not
Oh,
Tiffany.
she's not gross granny. That's Tiffany's gross granny.
Mhm.
Oh, okay. So I'm confused. I apologize. So her grandmother was watching them for a while.
Just babysitting. I mean, she didn't have custody or anything, but the kids went back to Panhandle Granny, and they're talking about these, mean old Tom turkeys that are picking on them, and I mean,
Do you guys remember the case in Georgia? It's not, and I mean, it's not really the same, but it kind of does kind of remind me of it. It was, I cannot remember the 2, but it ended up being like they were cousins and they had a kid together and they ended up killing their baby. But when they did the court case, the prosecutor was talking about how you're going to hear stories from people that you would not consider upstanding citizens, and you have to take their statement for a hit and miss. And it kind of just reminds me of that backwoods trial, and I wish I could remember what their names were. They ended up getting some time for it, but it was just some backyard trial. It was crazy.
people do crazy things. I got other people coming in backstage, Kristen. I'm going to put you back.
Want
And
me to step down?
no,
Oh
you're
no, I'll go. I don't have too much information. I just wanted to let everybody in the world know that evil grandma could totally take a good, death penalty.
evil grandma's probably going to get the DP. Let's all have a round of applause for our friend Kristen for
Thanks, ladies.
putting her 2 cents in. All right, grave evidence. Welcome to the panel. What do you think about this insanity?
Good morning. Okay, you got to hear me out through this everything that I think. Okay, I was making sure the trash truck wasn't coming back by. But you got to hear me out through this when I say this, because I don't want the chat to just hear one thing and just like come at me.
Well, spit it out, girl. Come on.
Okay, I agree that what they did was wrong, and from what I've read like what Tiffany's son said about her, it does sound like grandma was a very controlling, manipulative person. And I think that what they did is wrong. Okay, so I just want to put that out there. But I was thinking about this. So I was listening to Tiffany Adams' former attorney. He did an interview with somebody, and I can't remember if it was Brian Enton or if it was Banfield, but it was a
Yeah,
pretty lengthy
through that in it.
yeah. And I heard him say that the paperwork, excuse me, the paperwork is at the courthouse where um, the judge did find probable cause of SA on those children. And that's why Tiffany was put under supervised visitation.
Mhm.
So say that that is true. Say that attorney's telling the truth and the judge really did find that there was cause. And then, your grandma and you know that these grandkids are getting ready to go back into unsupervised visitation and
Mhm.
you're losing with the courts, right? Not
Mhm.
saying what she did is right. I'm not saying she's a good person, but what would you do?
I certainly wouldn't ambush two women and kill them,
Well,
especially
I wouldn't
killing.
either. Yeah,
I know,
I
that's what
wouldn't
I'm saying.
either.
What I would do is I would just keep going back to the courts and fighting. I wouldn't, absolutely wouldn't like it, but the courts are the courts and they say what the rules are.
Hmm.
Well, and it
I
was
mean,
alleged, not proven, and this is something that Slim and I talked about for quite a while. I think it was on Tuesday. It's not too hard to find, I'm not trying to be grim, to find SA on a child.
Hmm.
Child psychologists know how to talk to children, unlike
Right,
me.
right.
And but Slim and I were, talking about this, and she said, think about it. If you've really got it in your mind,
Hmm.
your grandchildren are in danger, and if they go with the mother unsupervised, they could be harmed again.
Hmm.
Without the proof, there's nothing. But here's the thing: it only takes one on a jury.
Right. What I'm thinking,
Don't know if they're going to try all four together, or if
Mhm.
they're going to have separate trials.
What I'm wondering, motive wise, what I'm wondering is if this grandmother truly did believe that her grandchildren were in danger, I would love, and I don't know if we could, but I would love to be able to look at that paperwork to see exactly what the judge found, what his reason was for doing the supervised visitation, if he really did find probable cause of SA.
No,
I
no,
would,
the whole 27 pages that made it all the way to the state Supreme Court. I've got a whole playlist if you want to go through it.
you have those papers?
I've sent them to a ton of people. Hell, it took like 2 days to go through them. That have to do with
Oh,
custody. It had to do with the turkeys pecking at him and the dog biting the older child.
you're shitting me. Was there anything about the SA?
Um, it was unfounded.
So that attorney lied. Her former attorney lied.
oh
I just
yeah,
need an
attorneys do that
interview.
every day, all day. That's what they're really good at. That's the best I can tell you is attorneys and used car salesmen. They
Mhm.
both lie.
Oh, wow. See, I just listened to him last night and I thought, well, he's her former attorney. He doesn't have any reason, to lie. He's not representing her now. And I heard him say that the judge did find it to be substantiated. And then I got to thinking, well, then maybe that grandma's mindset
The
again.
judge is not an investigator. What does he mean the judge found it to be substantiated? All the judge does is sit in judgment. It has to be the
Right.
police and the doctors. And if it was substantiated, her brother, who I mean, could be the biggest piece of shit in the world, he'd be in jail.
And see, that was my next question is where is this brother? Has he been charged?
Mm-mm.
And
I believe that it was made up by the grandmother. In my heart of hearts, I believe it was if she will put a gun to her own child's head, she will do anything
Yeah,
to get what
no.
she wants. Anything she to get what she wants. She will
So
take
then,
her own child out to get what she wants.
yeah. So then that takes me back to, just motive wise, it was just control. She just wanted to control the situation, I guess. She just wanted to have this kid. That's just sad. What bothers me the most
My
too
thing
is,
is, if you really thought Veronica is the threat, they know where Veronica lives.
Mhm.
Veronica doesn't have kids. Why take out Jillian?
Yeah, that's what I was just getting ready to say. What bothers me the most is Jillian. Just and the other one who was supposed to go, and the grandmother told her take a few weeks off. I have
Mhm.
a feeling that lady knew. I for something tells me she knew something was going on. But yeah, Jillian just so innocent. No, I had no idea. And I'm thinking the way that it was worded, wounds, plural. I'm thinking it may have been more than just like one, pew pew. I'm thinking that, and then with Cora saying it didn't go as planned,
Mhm.
I'm thinking they did some things to these women more than just, taking their life.
And what the
I
hell
thought,
are you talking about? It didn't go as planned. You mean you
well,
couldn't?
here's a thought. Here's a thought, Brooks.
It,
One,
it
and
did.
it's way far fetched, I think, but it could have happened. You know, the guy that's missing.
Hmm.
Maybe Jillian had her gun out and got a shot in for,
I've been thinking about that too. About,
and
well,
then they had to get rid of him, put him elsewhere because they can't put him with them.
and
Yeah.
he can't go to a hospital.
He was just collateral damage.
Could the
Could be.
ambulance fit in the backpack? I think some people misunderstood me. Sud said you can't leave a witness. Look, I got that part of it. What I'm
Hmm.
saying is there was no reason if Veronica is the danger, go up to Kansas and take care of Veronica if that's what you really want to do. They knew that she has to have supervised visitation. They knew somebody who was totally innocent to the situation was going to be with her. That's what I'm saying.
Where did you say that the documents are on your playlist so I can go? I'm going to go watch your video on it because I have not seen them.
Yeah, they're on the screen and everything. So yeah, go check it out, girlfriend. Let me know what you think.
Is
Let's
it
have
a,
a round of applause for grave evidence.
oh,
Well, look at that. Kristen has become a new YouTube member. My goodness, we're making friends left and right, Jammy Jam. All right, let's get to the insanity that happened in court yesterday. And I do not blame the families at all. It's been all over my local news. Hell, they were spitting, fighting, cussing, you name it.
I would have been so mad. I don't know. You know how I am, Brooks. I get crazy. I would have been probably
Girl,
they'd had to carry me
you
out of
would.
there.
You would. All right, this was yesterday in Oklahoma. Old News Daddy was shitting bricks. He's like, I've never seen anything like that in a courthouse before. Welcome to the Sooner State. Lisa Wilson can tell you about it. Little bit knows. I don't know what's more interesting in Oklahoma, the courthouse or the goddamn Walmart.
National correspondent Brian Enton was right there front row, actually, for all of it. He joins me now live. Brian, you've had a hell of a day. I know that you expected it would be tense in that courtroom, but I'm sure
Did Beishfield say a cuss
What?
word? Yeah, she's talking to News Daddy. She's like, I know you've had a hell of a day. I got to hear that again. Listen, Jammy Jam.
News Nation's national correspondent Brian Enton was right there, front row, actually, for all of it. He joins me now live. Brian, you've had a hell of a day. I know that you expected it would be tense in that courtroom, but I'm sure you did not expect how intense it was going to be. And start from the beginning when you arrived and saw snipers on the roof.
Yeah, so this was a unique court experience.
Oh, fuck me. I had to watch this several times. He goes, yes, this was a unique court experience. All right. Little bit will tell you, Lisa Wilson, all my Okies in here, they'll tell you it is not uncommon for snipers to be on top of the courthouse. I know some people are like, what the hell are you talking about? It's really not uncommon. But News Daddy didn't know it goes down like that around here.
I didn't either. That's crazy.
Yeah, he's like, there were snipers on top of the courthouse.
Was going to be, and start from the beginning when you arrived and saw snipers on the roof.
Yeah, so this was a unique court experience. I don't think I've ever seen anything quite like it in Texas County, Oklahoma, a small courthouse. We show up and I immediately noticed that.
Okay, I'm going to have to interrupt a lot. I'm telling you. What's he talking about? I've never seen anything like that in Texas County, Oklahoma. Your ass has never been there before. What are you talking about? You were freaking out about the mosquitoes when you were down in Henrietta, News Daddy. I've never seen anything like that before in Texas County, Oklahoma. Like Beishfield saying, well, I haven't been there in a while. Oh, I'll send you on vacation. You stupid asses. God. Jammy Jam, help me here.
I don't think he's real experienced with life that is different, that is out of the city realm. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
He's used to things being, he lives a good cushy life, so he doesn't see shit that goes on in these areas of the world that he don't know about. He.
I just feel bad because, his spray tan is wearing off.
That's so bad. It is a bad spray tan.
He's, the spray tan's wearing off. He's got his hair done recently and everything. And now he's like, I've never seen this in Texas County, Oklahoma before. Well, that means it's your first time to the rodeo.
That there's sheriff's deputies everywhere, snipers up on the roof of the courthouse for security. There is a police drone in the air, actually, that they're flying over the small parking lot. They've got deputies out in the parking lot with those metal detector wands. And before you could go into the courthouse, right in the parking lot in the middle, you had to spread your arms. They checked you, obviously, no electronics, no cell phones. I was wearing a hoodie. I couldn't even wear my hoodie. They said, you have to take your hoodie off and take it back to the car. I've never had.
I don't know what the temperature was in the Panhandle yesterday. It was 86 here. Yeah, Oklahoma loves to use their equipment. I think it was, today's Thursday. I think it was Tuesday morning. They were talking about a mother and her son that got into it over in Broken Arrow. Hop, skip, and a jump for me. And
What happened?
she said that he pulled a knife on her. Who knows? I mean, he's like my age and she's like 82. Okay, so anyway, Broken Arrow goes pulling up, and this is what they do for the entire neighborhood to see. Come out with your hands up. This is the Broken Arrow Police Department. Come out with your hands up. I'm like, you really needed all that damn equipment to get that loser away from his mama? They love using their equipment around here. I'm not going to lie. Brian Enton's about to shit his pants.
Metal detector wands. And before you could go into the courthouse, right in the parking lot in the middle, you had to spread your arms. They checked you, obviously, no electronics, no cell phones. I was wearing a hoodie. I couldn't even wear my hoodie. They said, you have to take your hoodie off and take it back to the car. I've never had that happen before. So finally get inside. We go up to the 3rd floor, small little quaint courthouse, very, very small courtroom. And that's when sort of the emotions just exploded, Ashley.
Okay, so now walk me through, again, a small courtroom and 4 defendants. Normally, you've got 1 defendant, and it's hard to fit people in a courtroom when it's a big media circus. But you guys, the media, were given the front row, which is very strange. We're usually pushed at least halfway back or to the back. Why were you all in the front row?
Yeah, so small courtroom. And the first thing I wondered was, this is interesting. I've never been allowed to sit in the front row before. I later realized it was actually a very good move by the court administration. So we sit down, they brought the suspects in one by one. So they didn't bring them all in at the same time. And they marched them right through the middle of this little courthouse, by the way. You saw they come out the front door, the video you're looking at. So there's no like back hallway or anything like that. So that was interesting. And they bring them in one by one. And there's about 24 family members of the victims in the back 2 rows. And it is just another level of emotion, sobbing, crying. And then when each person came in, they weren't yelling, but they were talking loudly enough for everyone to hear and directing things at the suspects during the court hearing. I've never seen it before. And I wrote down some of the things they said. When Cole Trumbley came in, Veronica's dad said, bastard, bastard. When Tad Cullum came,
We're hearing a lot of cuss words on News Nation. I heard Beigeville say, you've had a hell of a day. I just heard News Daddy say, bastard, bastard. Well, there was an F word in front of that. When they walked in, Veronica's dad said, what the Frank, Tiffany? You killed my daughter.
I can't imagine the amount of emotion that you would feel seeing the person that took your child's life in front of you. It would be now there, if you want to see why I would do something crazy, there would be a crazy thing I might do. Oh, I can't even fathom feeling this. Makes me feel icky.
I don't blame them at all, but so many people are coming unglued. They're like, the judge allowed all this. I'm like, yeah.
Who cares? Let them. I think that because, listen, they killed a preacher's wife. I'm just saying that is, if you're a Christian, if there are Christians out there, they're knowing that is just beyond wrong, and just killing anybody's wrong. But, gosh, what are you thinking? Creep.
Yeah. And now here we have, News Daddy saying, bastard, you bastard, you bastard.
and then when each person came in, they weren't yelling, but they were talking loudly enough for everyone to hear and directing things at the suspects during the court hearing. I've never seen it before. And I wrote down some of the things they said. When Cole Trump.
Okay, News Daddy is hopping up and down. He's never seen shit like this before. He's hopping up and down. He goes, I wrote down some of the things that they said. Okay, I don't have the slickest brain. I'm not the brightest bulb in the tanning bed. I would not have had to have written any of this down. I guarantee it would have been penetrated in my memory had I saw this mess.
Family members of the victims in the back 2 rows. And it is just another level of emotion, sobbing, crying. And then when each person came in, they weren't yelling, but they were talking loudly enough for everyone to hear and directing things at the suspects during the court hearing. I've never seen it before. And I wrote down some of the things they said. When Cole Trumbley came in, Veronica's dad said, bastard, bastard. When Tad Cullum came in, they said, you are a sorry ass piece of you know what. I'm not going to say what they said, a bad word. And when Grandma Tiffany came in, they said,
you are a sorry ass piece of shit, is what they said. Enton, who couldn't bring his hoodie in, he said, sorry, I'm not going to say a bad word.
So he can say bastard, but he can't say shit? I don't know.
Say a bad word is what he said. Yeah. I have a feeling News Daddy will never cover another case in Oklahoma ever again. Because let me tell you what, he was pretty damn freaked out when he went down to Henrietta. I mean, he was swiping off the mosquitoes. They were sticking to his spray tan. I felt horrible for him. You know what it's like when you get a spray tan and then you go out in the humidity and it starts sweating off?
Yeah, you see people like that all the time.
That was horrible. God.
Effing B word who killed my daughter. And this is while the others are sobbing. And then at one point, not at one point, pretty much throughout the entire thing, it took about an hour for them to get through each one of the suspects. They had to hold Veronica's dad back. And it was his family members were literally holding on to each arm because he wanted to rush the suspects. And I guess it was just, I've never seen it before because normally when people get emotional in a courtroom, they will stop. The bailiff will say, everybody, we understand this is emotional, but, please.
Oh, they let that shit go down. They were trying to restrain Veronica's father because he was getting ready to whip some ass in there. And, Enton's sitting there on the front row, not knowing why he's on the front row, going, damn, you're telling me the judge, the bailiff, no one is stopping this commotion? Got to be kidding me. And look at Beigeville. She's like, thank God I was at the desk.
Wanted to
I
rush the
bet he was
suspects.
scared.
And I guess it was just, I've never seen it before because normally when people get emotional in a courtroom, they will stop. The bailiff will say, everybody, we understand this is emotional, but, please. That didn't happen here. It just moved on.
I got to be honest with you. I feel like I would have done the same. I know courtroom protocol.
Yeah.
I know decorum, but I'm not so sure I could have held back. I think someone would have had to hold me back if someone had done that to my child. It is interesting, though, that you say nothing stopped them. Like the judge didn't say order in the court, bailiffs, please get the gallery under control. There was no attempt to sort of quell those actions.
No, I will say the deputies sort of gathered around that area where the victims' families were, so they were ready. I mean, if he was to get away from them holding him, but again, I think the judge felt it too. I mean, you just felt so deeply for these families, Ashley. The emotion, the sadness. I can't even really explain it. You could see it in their faces, just how distraught they were. So maybe that's why the judge just sort of let it carry on. I mean, it was hard not to just feel bad for them.
I mean, just so heartbreaking in every respect. So, and also perplexing, just perplexing. So you said the dad.
Did News Nation get a thesaurus for Christmas? Look at all the new words. Bastard, hell, can't use bad words. Perplexing, perplexing. I know decorum. Did they not even try to stop this? And there's News Daddy standing back going, And I was right on the front row, afraid someone was going to take a swing at me. Good God. Welcome to Oklahoma is all I can say.
Veronica's dad lunged at the defendants, and his sister, which would be Veronica's aunt, held him back. You met both of them, Veronica's dad and Veronica's aunt, outside the courthouse. What'd they say to you?
Yeah, so this sort of strange scene continued outside the courthouse because they basically kept everybody seated and then they bring the suspects right out through the middle of the small courthouse, right out the front door, through the parking lot. The video you're looking at, they came in, they went out, and there was a crowd of people out there, local people watching, and there were also family members of the suspect out there. It was Tad's sister. I wrote down what she said. She said that he would never hurt a woman. She was screaming that outside while all of this was happening. And then the victims' families came out, and I spoke with Veronica's dad and aunt. Again, just feel terrible for them.
Thank you for watching. Go.
It's simply heartbreaking, honestly. And it's just, I just can't, I would have, I might have done worse than that daddy did. I don't know if I could have held myself back.
Well, I mean, the aunt's holding Veronica's daddy back. The bailiff's looking the other way. And this, he would never hurt a woman. Well, then who would he hurt?
Well, I don't really consider her a woman, in my opinion, and I doubt he sees her as a woman. He sees her as a killer,
Mhm.
someone who took his child away, something that took his baby. To him, she is probably nothing. Because to me, if someone took my baby intentionally, took my baby,
Mhm.
I don't know, my babies are old, but if they take my baby, somebody's going to, I don't know. I don't understand how people can judge that man for being so angry
No,
because,
I'm not judging him at all. I mean,
no, me
I think
neither.
more people are judging the judge overseeing the court, the bailiffs, and the deputies if they let that go on. Because
Well, they
you know,
really probably don't.
news daddy's trying to take notes, and all he got out of the entire hearing was bastard, ass, and piece of shit.
Right, exactly. It's like, oh my God, just the emotions that I would have really spoke on the intense emotion. You know, people need to understand these people did a horrific thing. I mean, I know most people get it, and there's really no reason for it. There's not any reason for it. I don't care who did what. You don't take someone's life like that, someone's child, someone's mommy.
Mhm.
What the heck is
Well, and
wrong
they
with
want to know exactly how long they've been planning it because their plan for February foiled.
you? Yeah, they foiled that one bad, you know. I know what they're gonna lure her out and then drop an anvil on her. That's weird.
Mhm. Well, I'm going
That's
to
way
take a second and I'm going to play the music because we have a lot of gifted memberships in here. My goodness,
oh,
yeah. Then I had to mute myself because I had to sneeze. Hello,
oh,
Spirit Seeker Squad. That's a mouthful. She's been hiding in the bushes. Get out of the bushes, everybody. We have 687 people in here. Everyone say hi. All right, let's get to more of it because it is just crazy. Um, you never really know what's going through someone's mind.
I
What
know
their
that's scary. That's so scary.
what their motivation for anything is. But in this case, with Panhandle Granny, I just think it was all about control. She couldn't have possibly believed that this essay happened when she's the one that basically put it into the children's heads. And
Yeah.
Veronica, may she rest in peace, the abuse that the child psychologists were talking to their son about, he said his mother told him to say these things. So we had some real mean girl on mean girl action going between Veronica and Panhandle Granny. And as far as her daddy, Veronica's getting so upset in court yesterday, I can't say that I blame him. What I can't believe is that the judge just let it go on. I find it damn hysterical. It's like a damn
I,
Jerry Springer episode.
yeah, I'm not making excuses for Veronica. That no, wait a minute. Now who the mother's name? What is the mother's name? Not the grandmother. The mother's name.
Oh,
What is her
Veronica.
name? Okay, her
Veronica
name
is
is Veronica.
the mother.
I don't
Yeah,
want to I don't want to say the wrong. Veronica is not the grandmother. She's Tiffany, right? Okay.
right.
It's funny because I would think it would be the other way around. That's why I keep getting confused with that. Just because Veronica sounds like an old name and Tiffany sounds like a young name. I don't know.
Well,
But anyway,
our cast of characters, this is the Devil's Rejects. We have Tiffany up in the top left-hand corner. That is
okay.
the grandma. Next to
Hmm.
her is Tad, her boyfriend.
Right.
What a looker.
Mm.
Bottom row to the left, we have Cora Twombly and her husband who's smirking, Cole.
Okay. I know who, I got them all in my head, but those two names, Tiffany and they get me confused. But here's the thing, the mother, maybe she made up a few lies, or maybe she was really trying to protect her children from these people. I feel like she knew their evilness. I think she knew it firsthand.
Mm-hmm.
And she tried to get people to understand. I mean, that's just what I'm picking up. I think that people weren't listening to this mother. Possibly she resorted to that because she just really didn't want to have to let her kids go with these crazy people, because this crazy just didn't occur. It's been
No,
going on.
no, crazy didn't happen overnight. No, it did not. But crazy was given custody of her children because Veronica did crazy things too. You know, Wranglers and
Yeah,
Arena.
I can understand
And our
that. I mean, I get that. But then I wonder, did she do crazy to fight crazy? I
yeah,
gotta fight this crazy. I gotta do what I gotta do. But ugh, the grandmother, I just don't understand.
yeah, she's a real mall barker.
Good evening. Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Jeff Herndon. New developments in the case of the murdered Southwest Kansas mothers. Court documents reveal Tiffany Adams, the grandmother of Veronica Butler's children, admitted to killing Veronica and Jillian Kelly in the state's motion to hold Adams and the 3 other suspects without bond. Investigators wrote, after Adams was arrested, she, quote, made statements to law enforcement indicating she was responsible for the deaths of Butler and Kelly. The documents do not reveal what those statements entailed. Adams, Tad Cullum, and Cole and Cora Twombly were in court for their first appearance today. They are each charged with first-degree murder, kidnapping, and conspiracy. A judge denied all of them bond. It's something prosecutors pushed for. In court documents, they said, quote, now faced with the consequences of a sentence of death or life in prison, the defendants would be willing to do anything since they have shown to be willing to commit capital murder in order to limit Veronica's visitation.
Well, there you go. They spelled out the motive. They were willing to commit capital murder in order to limit Veronica's visitation. Well, it's damn sure limited now, but guess what? The 4 dum-dums didn't figure out, and possibly a 5th, 6th, or 7th. But I'm not going to get into those people right now. I need more information. We do know that there was 5 tasers bought. We do know there was burner phones. There was 5 stun guns, and 4 people went to the ambush. I'm thinking old Paul that decided to get the hell out of there. He's the 5th.
So you think he's like intentionally missing and not a part of what happened at the scene?
Well, supposedly there was a 5th person when they diverted them off the highway to
Okay.
go meet up with Tiffany and Tad. There was someone
Okay.
else with them. Now, either someone made a deal or this guy chickened out. Time will tell.
Yeah, we'll see. They're going to arrest more. I'm sure of it.
You know, and, you know, people are really concentrating on the pew-pews. We know what a pew-pew is.
Yes.
I'm more concentrating on a broken hammer found at the scene.
Exactly. I thought about that too. And her glasses were beside the hammer. Am I correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think there was a lot of stuff going on. I think it was crazy. I bet it was just, I just keep thinking the first thing they see those people and then like, oh my God, is this it? How am I going to get out of it? Because I don't know how they could have gotten out of it I'm sure they were surrounding them pretty much.
Well, we know that Cora and Cole blocked them off on the highway and they diverted them.
Maybe they said, hey, they're over here. They're going to meet you over here. Just follow us. We came to show you where to
That's
meet
the
them.
only thing I can think of, because no way would those 2 women just go, oh, okay, yeah, I'll go over there, unless they thought they were going to get the kids. And then
Right.
they the car back is what I'm understanding. But the motive is plain as day. They would be willing to do anything since they have shown to be willing to commit capital murder in order to limit Veronica's visitation. Now, this whole
silly.
sovereign God's misfits, anti-government. Look, they know the government's really damn real because they've been dealing with the government in order to get visitation with the kids, custody of the kids. Tiffany damn sure knows about the government since she got in trouble for assault and battery, since she pistol whipped Tad and beat him with a hot water hose. She knows that the government's real. You can be anti-government all you want. You still got to pay.
They're still there. They ain't going nowhere.
Stupid ass.
Limit Veronica's visitation. Prosecutors say there were many attempts made to take Veronica's life. Other court documents show the years of turmoil between Veronica and Tiffany, but efforts to secure a protection order did not get approved by a judge.
Do you feel like the justice system failed Veronica?
They 100%.
Has it always been like this with Tiffany?
In the last 5 years, 100%, they have failed.
What would you say to the justice system?
They don't want to know. I'm going to have to get off here. Sorry.
Well, the maximum sentence for murder is death, life, or life without parole. Julia Thatcher asked the district attorney if the death penalty is on the table. He told her that will be decided later.
Well, then it means it's on the table.
Yeah, someone in that motley crew is going to get the death penalty. And sometimes they don't even announce it until right before trial. Now,
Right. That's on the table, or he would have said, no, it's not on the table. He just said, we'll decide that later. That means it's on the table. They're doing it or not doing it. They're both on the table.
because we just recently heard that in the Athena Brownfield case that they took the death penalty. No, they never gave Ivan Adams the death penalty, but her other caretaker, who was a female, Alicia Adams, they put the death penalty on her.
Well, there you go.
So just because you're a woman in Oklahoma doesn't mean you're not going to go and visit Electric Avenue in Big Mac, Oklahoma. All right, so this is what Panhandle Granny's former attorney said. Hello, Cotton Candy. How are you, girlfriend?
I could not imagine it. It was a shock to find out she was charged.
When you look through the documents, counsel, and the recitation of what happened from the 16-year-old witness specifically, it is a pretty compelling narrative that your client was absolutely involved in this and it was planned. How do you understand that?
Well, to be fair, this has been a contentious custody and guardianship matter, and a lot of temporary orders have been entered by the court, but no final orders having been entered. It's gone on too long and it's too acrimoniously. Now, at Ms. Adams is a well-known member of the community. She's in the farming and ranching business.
I knew this would be a big deal. She's well known in the community. She's huge into the farmers and ranchers. She's big into politics, the whole 9 yards. I was talking to my husband yesterday, and I said that prosecutor is going to wind up moving this trial out of the Panhandle because they are all so well known.
I agree. And they should. They absolutely should, because I feel like the law enforcement and the political people in that community are attached to her pretty tightly, or at least one of each of those people.
Mm-hmm.
They're all attached, and that makes me feel icky.
We're not talking about a big community. Everybody knows everybody, and they are a tad bit scared, I would say, of these people. They're going to have to move it. Now, it's so weird because normally the defense is the one that says they can't get a fair trial. The prosecution can do it as well. And I would not be surprised for a minute if the DA doesn't say, no way am I trying it here.
Didn't a judge give an interview to Brian Eaton? Was that the judge that you were listening to, or is that another guy?
That's
Because,
another guy, but we're going to be talking about that judge in a minute because he got fired for talking to the news.
well, hell, I wonder why. He was
Hell,
all.
that didn't take but a hot minute.
I know, right? I thought that was just weird, and a judge to speak and act surprised. I just don't think these people are as surprised as they're acting. I'm just saying. I just don't think this bad woman just suddenly woke up one morning and decided to commit capital murder. There was already evil in this woman. There were bad things she'd done before. I'm telling you.
Mm-hmm. And on the phone with News Nation is Stephen Jones. You know how I know that name? Ask me, Jammy Jam, how I know that name.
How do you know that name?
He was Tim McVeigh's attorney.
Oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm.
That was horrific as well.
Yeah, and tomorrow's the anniversary. Tomorrow's April 19th.
Oh, it is, isn't it? I remember that day. I remember when I didn't even I still to this day can't grasp why.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I knew that name. Yeah, that's him. Yeah, that's that bastard right there. I mean, everyone needs a good defense, but that's him. I just looked. I mean, yeah, I'm looking right now. I believe everything I read on the internet. And yeah, he is her attorney. And he was Tim McVeigh's attorney.
Now
Fuck
the
us.
one defendant, she doesn't have a paid attorney. She's got a public defender. That makes me curious. Why are they hanging her out to dry? The whole other bunch of them got their own attorneys, but not that one. Just the one wasn't allowed. She just got a public defender. She didn't have any money. Did her husband have control of the money?
I don't know.
I didn't know if you knew that or not. You'll have to research that a little bit. But she's the one she doesn't got any like a big attorney.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Man, oh man.
Well, I'm going to step down, Brooks. Thanks for having me.
Hey, anytime, Jamie Jam. I'm glad you came up.
All right, sweetie. You have a great day.
All right. Let's give a round of applause to our wonderful friend, Jamie Jam.
Love you guys.
Love you too, girlfriend. Okay, I see a few people in chat that are asking who Tim McVeigh is. Well, he bombed the Murr building in Oklahoma City and killed a ton of people. There is absolutely no correlation between Tim McVeigh and what's going on in the Panhandle. But Stephen Jones was Tim McVeigh's attorney, and he is Panhandle Granny. So this is just a snippet of who Tim McVeigh is.
14 years after the Oklahoma City bombing, the FBI has released security tape showing the chaos that followed. Take a look at the video we just got into our newsroom. The silent recordings show people rushing from nearby buildings after the bomb went off. They don't show the actual explosion outside the Alfred P. Murrah Federal Building. The tapes were obtained by an attorney and provided to the Oklahoman. Now, some of the images were used as evidence at bomber Timothy McVeigh's trial. McVeigh was executed in 2001. Co-conspirator Terry Nichols is serving life in prison.
So that's who we're dealing with. And that is who her attorney is. So it says on the phone, Stephen Jones, former attorney for Panhandle Granny.
Her family is 5 years. She's on the board of the county hospital, and she's a farmer rancher. She has strong feelings. The children's mother and father were never married, so we have this custody battle. The father is serving a time in prison, so he's not available. And she asked the court in a petition for guardianship to be made the guardian of the children,
Right.
in other words, custody. Now, what brought this on was the issue of temporary visitation and whether it would be
Supervised or unsupervised?
Yes.
Right, but
And-
I get all that, and I get that it was ugly, counsel. What I'm saying is, did you ever get any indication that your client was willing, desperate enough to do anything violent to the mother just to keep custody of the kids?
I did not.
When you heard that, you say she's a member of the community, she's well known. Did you know that she was a part of an organization called God's Misfits that's supposedly this kind of anarchic organization that's anti-government, anti-rules?
I did not know that, but I'm not surprised. Cimarron County and much of the Panhandle is very individualistic, independent.
I'm about to piss myself. This is her former attorney saying, well, I'm not surprised because Cimarron County, they're very how do you say it? I can't pronounce it. Individualistic. Look, you can be anti-government all you want, but they already knew the government exists. Hell, they've gotten FEMA loans and everything. They pay taxes. She was fighting with the courts because she wanted full custody of her grandchildren. Good old Stephen Jones. I'm not surprised. Listen to that shit again. I'm not surprised.
You say she's a member of the community, she's well known. Did you know that she was a part of an organization called God's Misfits that's supposedly this kind of anarchic organization that's anti-government, anti-rules?
I did not know that, but I'm not surprised. Cimarron County and much of the Panhandle is very individualistic, independent, mostly farmers and town suppliers, and very, very conservative. And I've represented people in the Panhandle over 50 years. And every time I go out there, I hear about a new group that doesn't believe in your dollar bill or other things. And that just goes on in Cimarron County. It's a small, isolated county, looks to Amarillo, shops Amarillo, watches Amarillo television, and they keep to themselves. But since 1960,
what the hell does Amarillo television have to do with it? They just keep to themselves. They shop in Amarillo and they watch Amarillo TV. I love Amarillo, not going to lie. One of the best steaks I've ever had was in Amarillo.
they have changed politically. Very evangelical, very conspiratorial in the sense of not trusting the government. Now, that's probably half the county. The other half of the county is traditional farmers and ranchers,
right,
who pay their bills and participate in community life. So
well, this is the
you
first
really got
half,
to be
it seems, we're dealing with here, counsel. Did you ever pick up anything in her that would have indicated she had this kind of character, that she could plan a hit basically on the mother of her grandchildren? I mean, we have some context here. Her own son, who's in rehab, I didn't understand him to be in prison. I thought he was in rehab, says that she was threatening him and saying that he better put his name on the things that she tells him to. I mean, she sounds like a mob boss more than a grandmother. You didn't pick up any of that in her.
I did not. And the reason I did not is because there's an element that has not been considered here. The Kansas Department of the Protection of Children and the county sheriff in Hugoton, Kansas, conducted a 27-page review of the allegations that Mrs. Butler's 18-year-old half-brother had sexually violated not only the two children here, but his own brother, plus others.
Right.
That report exists. I can assure you it's on the prosecutor's desk. And
Okay. He says that report exists. It's on the prosecutor's desk. I am not about to say that this did not happen. I do know that it has gone through the court system many times, and it's all 100% unfounded. But if it has gone back to the prosecutor's desk, then someone needs to be in jail for that. But instead, we have 2 women murdered, and we have 4 people in jail, and possibly we're probably going to see more charges. I'm not going to speak on the SA allegations because as of right now, all we know is it's unsubstantiated and unfounded.
and on whoever represent her now. Those are very serious allegations.
Sure.
And Mrs. Adams' position was that Mrs. Butler didn't believe that her brother could do that,
Right.
even though the department found that he could. And so for her to have visitation without supervision was dangerous to the children. And the judge has already found that there was probable cause to believe that this boy was a sexual predator and had attacked her children. Now, her son, and let's face it, they're estranged. These 2 people, the mother and father, were never married.
Right.
They're marginal in the economy, although the son has tried to turn himself around.
Oh my God, this guy. They're marginal in the economy. Okay, so he's basically calling Wrangler and Veronica poor. They're marginal in the economy.
And the allegations, every allegation that could be made is theirs. But the fact is, I've read the report. I know what it says.
Right. I believe that. I believe that the allegations for probable cause, as we both know, you being a much more veteran, officer of the court than I am, but probable cause is a very low standard. It was early on in the review. But even if all the allegations were true, the idea that the rational remedy, counsel, is to plan a hit on the mother and the person who's there to provide guidance, absenting someone that you like, right? Because there was another woman who was supposed to be there that the grandmother allegedly told not to come, and then murder them and bury them doesn't seem to be the right remedy for the best interests of the child.
No, and that's the state's case. If what you just said is true, then we have a horrible homicide in which 2 people were ambushed that were coming to pick up one of them's child. And it's gothic. It's something out of the Bates Motel. And it's a terrible thing. Whoever is responsible for it it is shocking. There's no question about that.
I think that, the most surprising thing to me, especially this, and then I'll let you go, and I appreciate your time, Mr. Jones, is that you could know somebody through the course of this and be completely shocked that she had this level of animus towards the mother, that you never saw any trace of that.
I did not. I saw eccentricity. I saw Cimarron County individualism and independence, but I didn't see the prospect of homicide.
Stephen Jones, I appreciate you very much. I know that you're recovering from a procedure. I wish you the best. Hey.
A procedure? He had to go to the podiatrist and have an ingrown toenail cut out. He didn't have open heart surgery. His freaking piggy toe is infected. Crazy. Sassy Cats. Comment of the day. Why go after the women instead of the one that they think did the essay? That's exactly what I'm talking about. If you really think that there is some predator out there, and I am not condoning the big O M word, but if you truly think that this person, Veronica's brother, has been doing all kinds of nasty, horrible things to the children, then why wouldn't you just go after him? It had nothing to do with that. That's why. She wants the kids. This right here tells me that the essay didn't happen. This comment from Sassy Cats, thank you. Comment of the day, you win the prize. Why wouldn't you go after the person that you think is hurting the kids? It's not about that. Because she wanted the kids. She wants total control. Win at any cost. And now the children are with Veronica's father. She'll never see those kids ever again in her life. Ever. Even when they turn 18, 21, 25, you name it, they won't even be allowed to go visit her in prison if she's not dead by then. Win at any cost, but she lost. She lost. And well, so did a judge who was let go yesterday.
That are running high in the county right now and the adjoining state. We don't want to take any chances. These people need to have their day in court and go from there.
The suspects include Tiffany Adams, the mother of Butler's children, her boyfriend Tad Cullum, and 2 others. They're all reportedly linked to an anti-government religious group known as God's Misfits, a group said to follow its own laws. If that's the case, those laws seem to have admitted the 6th commandment.
I really, really wish they would quit bringing up this anti-government thing. Okay, I really wish they would stop it. There's a lot of people that hate the government. Okay, there's a lot. This is about custody and control, not their goofy ideology.
Thou shalt not commit murder. Police say in the past 24 hours, the incriminating evidence has been piling up. Authorities confirmed yesterday that the two bodies found over the weekend were indeed those of the two missing mothers. They were discovered in a rural area about 8 miles from their abandoned car on land that Cullum leased from the owner. Today, the victims' family members crowded into the courtroom, shouting at the suspects, even at one point lunging at them. News Nation's correspondent Brian Enton was there for it all, joins us live outside the courtroom. And Brian, it sounds like a very tense, wild scene.
Yeah, it was tense. It was emotional, Elizabeth. It was really like a hearing like I've never been to before. Starting outside, security was so tight. There was a police drone up. There were snipers on the roof. There were metal detectors outside in the parking lot, handheld metal detectors where they checked every single person. You couldn't bring in electronics. I couldn't even wear my hoodie inside. They made me take my hoodie off. Once inside the courtroom, it was a very, very small.
Uh-oh. News Daddy has his O face on. I always pause in the craziest parts. When I get to CrimeCon next month, I'm going to bring him a hoodie. I'm going to bring him a hoodie from Oklahoma. If y'all want to pitch in, let me know. I'm going to get him an Oklahoma Sooners hoodie.
Space. The last 2 rows were filled with the victims' family members, about 24 of them or so. And when the suspects came in, they were very, very angry and emotional, and they were saying things out loud that you could hear in the courtroom. I wrote some of these things down. When suspect Cole Trumbley came in, Veronica's dad audibly called him a bastard. When Tad Cullum came in, he said, "Sorry, ass piece of you-know-what." And when Grandma Tiffany came in, he said, "Effing B, who killed my daughter." And then they actually had to restrain him. His family members had to hold him back, hold Veronica's dad back, because he was trying to lunge towards the suspects. All of this happening as the hearing was underway. We spoke to Veronica's aunt outside right afterwards. Take a listen. First of all, I'm so sorry for everything you've been through. And just that courtroom was so small. I can't imagine you guys were just so close to them. I mean, what was that like?
You know, to hold my brother back from jumping, there's just too many emotions, so much anger. I don't understand how somebody can hate somebody so much that you want to kill him. My niece did not deserve that, and neither did the young lady with her.
Oh, man. Oh, man. Oh, man. Collateral damage. She said, "I'm in Oklahoma. I live in my sister's and my sister's with other family members' homes. We have homesteads, not anti-government. We do get homestead exemption here." Thank you for bringing that up, collateral damage. Deborah Wallace, $5 towards the hoodie. Woo! Girl, send me your address too, because I'm going to, or your cell phone number or whatever, because I'm going to send you a picture when he gets his hoodie.
He was just there to help her. We didn't deserve this.
So all of that was happening inside, Elizabeth. And then when we came outside, there was a large crowd out in the parking lot, including suspect Tad Cullum's sister, who started shouting that he would never hurt a woman. So you can just imagine emotions on both sides. Again, I've never really seen anything like that in a courtroom before, Elizabeth.
Wow, that's pretty amazing. Also, yesterday on this show, you had an interview with a local judge who was friendly with one of the suspects who's been arrested and charged with murder, was shocked at those developments. Turns out he got fired today because he spoke to you.
Yeah, it was shocking. Judge Vincent Forbes, he's a judge here in Kansas, where we are, near where the murders happened. The court hearing and the court case is all the way in Texas County, Oklahoma. So he has nothing to do with the case. He did know one of the suspects. He spoke to us. He calls us last night and says, "Listen, after your interview aired, the city council forced me to resign. They were so unhappy that I spoke out about all of this. I just went back to the judge's house to find out what happened." Take a listen.
I was sitting here in the house, and I got a phone call. There was a city council meeting last night, and they said, "You need to come over here." So I went over there. It's only a block. I walked over, and I went in, and they were in executive session. When it was over, 3 or 4 minutes, they called me in, sat down, and they said, we've had a lot of static about your interview, and we don't like it. The mayor has absolute control over my job. I'm appointed. He can hire me or fire me. And I said, well, just fire me. One of the councilmen popped up and said, oh, you're going to turn in your resignation. He's very nasty about it. I didn't appreciate that. And I said, that's not a problem. I'll quit.
You remember, Elizabeth, he talked to us yesterday about the cult group God's Misfits, what he had heard about them, also the fact that he knew the suspect, and apparently they weren't happy he was talking about it. It just goes to show why everyone is so nervous to talk around here. There's intimidation. The suspects were powerful. They owned thousands of acres of land. You know, you look at their pictures, you might not realize it, but they were powerful, influential people in this area, Elizabeth.
Yeah, and all along we've been reporting, even before they made the arrests, before we discovered the bodies, there was a lot of fear around this grandmother. People just were very afraid to speak out about this family. I guess we're seeing now a little evidence of that. Thanks.
Woo! A lot going on, let me tell you what. My goodness. Have a lot of questions about CrimeCon. It's in Nashville. I have to look at the dates. Again, you think by now I would remember. Hang on. Who's trying to call me? I don't know who that is. Hang on. Oh, that's OJ's vet. Okay, hang on. Son of a bitch. Okay, here we go. It is the 31st of May through the 2nd of June. We're going to be staying at the Fiddler's Inn in-ground pool. It's going to be a heap of fun. OJ's going to be there too. OJ is going to be there too. Well, I'll tell you who's going to be back tomorrow, and that is all of you and me. Because we have a members live tomorrow. Or as some people call it, secret meeting. We're going to have crime trivia, celebrate April birthdays, and do some shop talk that we can't do on the channel. So I hope you all are going to be back here tomorrow for the members live. I've got to get a hold of Ryan because she's our Meet the Moderator. And I want to see if we can get together and we can do the Meet the Moderator with her. And then she has to pick the next Meet the Moderator. But either way, it's always a heap of fun. So thank you so much to everybody for being here. Thank you to all the donations to the channel. Thank you for the gifted memberships and just for being super, super cool. If you are not a member, consider it. Hit the join button because like I said, we have a heap of fun on the members tab and when we have our member shows. So thank you again so much for being here. And I want to say thank you to everybody who came on panel, to our amazing mod squad. And if I don't see you in Discord or one of the Facebook groups, then I'll see you back here tomorrow on the Members Live. You guys are the absolute best friends anyone can have on these nasty YouTube streets.